What is architecture?
So architecture has everything to do with the built environment and everything that has to do with that in the official explanation of the word. But I think it's very difficult to define such a thing, since basically every architectural profession tries to define the word for him or herself, leading to many different answers to the same question. So I don't think it's a personal thing, and also I think it depends really much on the project you're currently working on. So the architecture can mean a different thing in one project, and then can lead to something totally different in another. So I think it's sadly it's quite vague, but it's also happily, because I think the broader the word is, the more opportunities there are for an architect.
What can architecture do?
So in the ideal situation, I think architecture can create a surrounding in a world where people get happier than without that architecture being there. So you can create a better life for people working and for people living. I think that's kind of the best situation that an architect can be in, that you can create something where other people which other people can enjoy for a long period of their lives.
What is your architectural position?
So my architectural position is that as I said before, I try to create things, beautiful places, or that create an added value to the people using it, both living or working or enjoying it in any way possible. And by doing that, trying to really focus on the physical architecture. So I am interested in the designing process and the drawing work and all that, but I think what my ultimate goal is to make these physical spaces and physical things in our lives that make our lives better.
What is your design method?
So to reach those physical moments and objects, the execution plays an essential role. So in my architectural practice, we don't only focus on, let's say, the paper design, but when the paper design is done, we actually take the project to the construction site, which means we work on one project at a time and take that project all the way from the first sketch to, let's say, the last brick. So we do half the time in the office, roughly, and then the second half we actually spend on the construction site, actually laying all the bricks and building the entire building, which gives you also a totally different design process, because within the building phase, actually new ideas come up, which you can then include within your design. So the design is not done when it leaves the drafting table, but the design is done when the physical thing is actually there.
What is the future of architecture?
So I think the future of architecture is a very vague and complex concept. I think on the one hand, I hope strongly that architecture will not become something which will constantly change and be very, with the fashion of the future, let's say. But also will still be able to create the monuments that surround us in this day. So architecture has the potential of creating something which has a longer lifespan than a human being. And of course, within a world which mainly is focused on, let's say, economics and personal wealth, it's very difficult to make something that actually outlives a human being. So I strongly hope, and I also think that within the future there will still be a place for, let's say, monuments and things that outlive the human beings. But at the same time, of course, it is only realistic to think that there will be buildings with much shorter lifespans and actually changing with the rapid changing world around us. So I think there will be a broad definition of architecture as there is today, and this will only become broader in future.